Hello? Can anybody hear me? I don't know if anybody can hear me right now. Go ahead, turn the volume up. Maybe they'll hear my voice. If you can hear me, could you let me know in the comments? Because it says everything's going good, but who knows? I can hear myself. I don't know if anybody else can. So if you can hear me, can you just drop something in the comments? Just say, yes, I hear you. Please go away. Something like that. Let's see here. Okay. I see some people here. Bullymong. What a great name. I recognize all these people. Okay, cool. You can hear me. Awesome. Excuse me. Funny thing when I do all these live streams, every time I do a live stream, I can never remember how to make it go live. Like I schedule it early because it kind of holds me accountable. So I'll definitely do a live stream. Plus gives people some time. But every time I go to start it, I can never find the go live button. It just shows up in my stream or my little content feed on YouTube, and then I have no clue how to make it go. So that's why I was a couple minutes late. I found it, made a bookmark. So next time, go right there. Bully Monk. Thanks for compliment. No problem. I love cool YouTube names. Hence the Go ADHD Go. I couldn't just go with my Johnny's ADHD channel or something weird like that. So I see how many people in here? There's like it just shows one right now, but I'm seeing two people in there. Let me see real quick. I'm checking this. This is probably the worst intro for a live stream ever, but let's give people a few minutes if they want to come check it out. Sometimes people start kind of trickling in slowly, especially I think with an ADHD live stream. But what I've noticed with ADHD live streams, there are people who will show up really early. Like if you go to a How to ADHD live stream, it seems like people are there really early, like commenting like crazy. Either that or people are coming in really, really late, right at the end. That's ADHD. Apologies for this. You like this here, the ring light? That's nice, isn't it? So, today I wanted to do a live stream today because I've been having like a really cruddy week and weekend. Yeah, Bill, I think Bullet says I think you're the only one here. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. There was somebody earlier. They might be hidden. I don't know. But anyways, I want to do a live stream today because these things really kind of pep me up and it's really great for my ADHD for some reason. Like positivity wise, I don't know why, but just talking about stuff that people, that aren't even talking back to me besides chatting, for some reason helps me out a lot. And after this week, it was just kind of, bleh. I really needed a pick me up. And a couple nights ago, I did a little online Zoom chat with Karen Broda, and that really helped. And then I was like, I need some more. So here we are. But don't worry, I'm not just gonna sit here and just babble on. Like I just want to sit here and talk about whatever. I have like a little list of stuff to talk about, and as more people pop in here, if they pop in here, I will start going off of this list here. But for the people that are already here, I am working on some videos that are coming out soon. Hopefully this week. I'm trying to get on a schedule where it's a video a week, every week. And if I can get my brain to agree with me on things, that would be wonderful because I could get a lot more done if my brain would just stop locking on to things that it must do. Um, for example, the last video I did, if you haven't seen it yet, it's called Takes the Meds, Then Backs to Beds. I decided to do that video because I was like, this is super easy to do. Quick, simple. I can be done with it just because it's so easy. Literally set an alarm an hour before you usually get up, take your meds, go back to bed for an hour, and then wake up at your normal time and your meds are in your system, blah, blah, blah. But my brain got this idea of this town called Cuckoo Town, which is like where my brain goes every morning. And then it grasped onto this, like, oh, what if we make it a destination? And there's posters and there's a cuckoo train or choo-choo train to cuckoo, like, and it wouldn't let that go. And so I had to write it into it because if I sat down and tried to do the video without it, I couldn't do it. Like my brain would just lock up constantly. But that's what I deal with. I think I've discussed this before is my brain locks onto these ideas and just wreaks havoc on whatever I'm trying to do, which is good and bad because it seems like the videos end up better than they would be if I just sat down and said, "Here's what to do." I don't know. I dig it. I like the "Take your meds and backs to bed" advice. Is it Genpro, or Genpro? I don't know why I'm asking you. You can't say it out loud, but I'll go with Genpro. Let's go with that for now. But yeah, what's interesting is that video, like I said, it should have taken me just a few seconds to do, which, by the way, I'm actually toying with the idea of doing 2 videos a week where there's a video that's the normal length, like the takes the meds one, and then one that will follow it on the same day, which is kind of like a, uh, a YouTube Shorts, but not really, where it's pretty much the exact same video topic, but I do it in like a minute, which is my thing about me just kind of sliding on the camera and going, set your alarm for an hour before you get up, take your medication, go back to bed. When you wake up, your meds will be working. And like that's it. But I don't know. But anyways, I'm trying to do a video a week. I've got said video ideas, no problem. Tons of them. But once I start writing, that's when all the chaos begins and it's nuts. But anyways, there are videos come out this week. I'm starting a series called Answer the Comments, which will be videos where I answer people's comments. Yeah, go figure. This is why I gotta submit my resume and ask. It's these type of ideas, this type of thinking. That's series called Answer the Comments, where I answer the comments. It's the creativity. It's mind-boggling, isn't it? But yeah, what I'm gonna be doing is I go through all of my comments. I read every single comment. And then when I read it, I always put the little heart thing next to it, let myself know that I read it. Plus, I always just appreciate it when people comment. But I see comments on my videos and on other videos, and some of them are just really great. And I go, oh, I should make a video about that, you know, where I answer kind of like that person's comment, hence the channel. And I think that first video is probably will come out this week. It was a really cool one about why take medication if you're trying all these things, and you know, tips and stuff to help your ADHD get better. Why take medication if it's, these things are helping? So it's kind of like answering that why I have to take medication in addition to doing these tips and tricks and stuff that I give out. But yeah. So if you ever have like a question about anything ADHD, and you comment in a video and it's something I go, oh, that could be a good video, or you think like, hey, this would be a good video, just comment and be like, hey, I think this would be a good video, and I might answer that comment with an actual video like the ones that I do. So yeah, exciting. It's a hard G. Okay, good. Genfro. Or Genfro. I need to learn to read. Oh, there's 3 people in here now. I gotta slow it down. I'm getting out of control. But anyway, what else? Oh, if you haven't seen the Takes the Meds and Backs to Beds video, I'll put the link in the description after the whole live stream thing. And that way you can go check it out. It's the last video I did like on February 17th. So I think the thumbnail is pink and says Takes the Meds and Backs to Beds. The title's like ADHD medication tip to make your morning brain less crazy, something like that. But yeah, Takes the Meds and Backs to Beds. That's what I've been doing since October 12th, 2021. And I haven't had like any of those morning grumps or anything since I've started doing that. And it's pretty cool. I really love it. I still split my medication. I don't take my entire capsule when I wake up at 5 a.m. or whatever. What time do I wake up? 4:30. When I wake up and take my first pill, or 5 a.m., whatever it is. I still do splitting, so I just take like half my capsule at that time. I didn't want to go into all that in that video, just because I don't think a lot of people do the splitting the meds thing. And if they do, they get it. They understand what to do. So you see, when I was a student, I had way too many great ideas, but then the actual writing made me so anxious because ADHD. Yes, exactly. What I found out is that what I have to do is when I get an idea, I immediately capture it. And this is from Genfro. This is I use apps like Evernote and Things 3, an app called Craft. I have a ton of different apps that I use, but as soon as an idea hits me, I immediately put it into so I capture it immediately in one of those apps this very second. Because if I tell myself, "Hey, I'm gonna remember this, I don't need to write it down," I'm gonna forget it. So I got into the habit of saying anytime something pops in my head, I immediately respond to myself with, "You're gonna forget this." So I immediately write it down, and then I immediately start writing, like, this little synopsis of the idea, so then I don't forget what the idea was. But what I found out is, like you were saying, you get over you know, get anxious with the writing, is if I think about the writing, I get anxious, but if I sit down and start writing it, I'm fine. So if you get anxious whenever you're coming up with ideas or writing, I found it just actually, typing it out onto my iPad or my computer or something, or even just hitting doing voice memos and saving those into whatever app I'm using at the time for my videos helps out a lot. Um, it's kind of like if it's in my brain, um, all those thoughts and ideas in the it kind of just keeps building up, and I say it's like marbles in a dryer. The more you keep putting in, the more crazy and loud it gets. So I immediately just start writing down the idea. I've actually written entire videos that way, where I something hit and I wrote the entire thing and it was done. I can't remember which one I did that with. It was not too long ago, but it was. That's what's weird about ADHD is I'll get an idea that'll hit me, and then I won't. I'll write what the idea is and what I want it to do, the video to be about, and then I won't touch it for months. And other times I'll have zero motivation to do any videos, and then something will hit me, and I will sit down and write the entire thing in 15 minutes and be done. It's like, why can't my brain do the super fast thing all the time? But that's the ADHD brain. As anybody who has ADHD, they already know this. Sometimes I wonder why there's ADHD channels that talk about ADHD traits, because people with ADHD know they can totally relate. But then again, if you don't have ADHD and you're having those traits, then it's a good thing. Yeah, it's definitely like marbles in a jar for me. That's what I always think that's what ADHD is like, um, without medication. I've always said people are like, "What's it like to not have medicate like be have ADHD and not be medicated for it or treated for it?" I said it's like marbles in a dryer. All your thoughts just keep piling in, and then when I'm on medication, it's like all those marbles are on top of the dryer, and my brain's going, lines them all up in a line. And before they fall into the dryer, he's going, "No, we don't need you. No, later, later, later. That's just dumb." Like, and the marbles are slowly falling in, but the dryer never really turns on full speed. It's just kind of goes. Um, but yeah, no medication, marbles in a dryer, hundreds of them, thousands probably. Oh, we have more people. That's five. Chris, I started reading Driven to Distraction because of you, and it's given me a lot of answers to my growing up. Took me forever to type this because I can't listen and think at the same time. Chris, I totally feel you about that book. When I read it, I cried. One, because it was like I started to realize what was wrong with me. This was before I got diagnosed. Um, but at the same time, it freaked me out because it literally felt like somebody had followed me around my entire life and just wrote down things that I did. It was like disturbing. I was relieved, I was angry, I was upset, I was sad, and I was freaked out all at the exact same time. Because finding out why you are the way that you are with your ADHD before you know what it could have that you even had it is a relief. But then think about all the things that life could have been, makes you sad, and then you get angry because all this stuff you screw up in your life and upsetting people. But at the same time, it's a huge relief. I think overall, it should be a big relief, and it should be the first thing after those emotions is, okay, now what am I going to do to make life suck less? Hence the reason why I want to do this channel is because I know for a lot of ADHDers, once they get diagnosed, it's the woe is me, my life is over thing. I was the same way, but you can go through with that mentality, or you can go with, okay, when this stuff comes at me, what am I going to do to make it better? And it's a struggle and it's difficult, but like I said, life will suck less if you go with that mentality. I'm not gonna say ADHD doesn't suck terribly all the time, because it does. Every day from the second I get up to the time I go to bed, even my good days are bad days. but, you know, keep pushing. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop learning. Don't ever be afraid to do whatever it takes to make your life top class. Oh, yeah, Sam is 419. Yes, there are people who have ADHD and they don't realize it or they think they've grown out of it. What's interesting is a lot of people that have ADHD, actually, let me put it this way. A lot of people I found out that comment and say stuff like, isn't everybody a little ADHD? Seems like those people always end up being people who end up being diagnosed with ADHD. I've known quite a few people that have, been that way, you know, brought up to me that, "Oh, you have ADHD." Yeah, but a lot of people just forget and stuff, don't they? And it's like, yeah, they do, but not to the level that, "Wait, why do you forget all the time too?" And like, "Yeah." It's like, "Well, maybe you should." And, people end up getting diagnosed. But, I also think that people with ADHD know that they have something that's not right with them. I think in my very first video I ever made, the Welcome to Go ADHD, I think I talked about that. Um, or was it the one where I talked about the I also people? But like for me, especially when I was at a young age, as far back as I can remember, especially when I was in school, grade school, I knew something wasn't right with me, but I didn't know what it was. Um, I was probably I was in grade school. I don't know what grade, where I can remember going to um, they had me go to like a speech therapist in school or counselor, and I didn't think I had any problem speaking. Um, but I went there and they were like, "Oh no, it's not that. It can't be ADHD because he's quiet and he's not hyper." Um, so I was never diagnosed. But you got to remember, this was late 70s and early 80s. The whole inattentive type ADHD wasn't a thing at that point. Hence, why people weren't diagnosed until they were adults. That's why there's adult ADHD. But with me back then, um, I knew something was not right. It was weird, just my entire life going, something's just not right with me. I don't know what it is. Then once my friend got diagnosed and said, I think you might have this also because we're so similar. Got diagnosed, and yeah, that's what it was. Can't remember what we started talking about there, Chris. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, finding out, or same as people don't know they have ADHD. Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's great about with YouTube is that people can find out stuff about ADHD and traits and things. They go on there and why am I so forgetful? And then they find out a video about ADHD and they're like, oh, well, maybe that's me. And they start looking into it and then hopefully they'll get diagnosed and it can be like life changing. And I think it's just amazing. I couldn't imagine like there'd have been YouTube when I was in grade school and stuff like that. I might have been able to, you know, been diagnosed way, way before I was because I wasn't diagnosed until the 2000s. I was like in my 30s. So I'm old. If you didn't know that. I am an old dude, but at least I was diagnosed and life is so much better since that. Let me see. Okay. What else on same but there are people. Did I read the right one? Hello, Madison L. Is it Madison LA or Madison La? I say Madison LA. And same, it says that again, and that's why the channel explained what ADHD is a good thing. Yes, it's wonderful. I remember the first time I stumbled across how to ADHD, which is when I was wanting to start an ADHD channel and seeing if there was any out there. Because like being a designer, graphic designer is my real job. Um, you always want to see what everybody else is doing, so you don't do the same thing. But I was like, blown away by the advice that was out there and how helpful that was. And even though a lot of the stuff that she was talking about I already knew because I had researched the crud out of it when I was diagnosed, um, it's just so wonderful. Especially when you find somebody who's struggling the same way that you are. Like I always said, the greatest thing is to find people who are miserable like you, which is the misery loves company type of thing. Like when you're struggling with something, you're like, oh, this was terrible. And then you see a video and they're like, that guy has it also. Oh, I feel better now for some reason. I'm glad he's struggling like I am. Like it's that whole, like, I don't know, relatable situation type of thing. But yeah, I can't imagine how many people that, Jessica, how ADHD has helped over the, 5 years or so that she's been on YouTube. It's gotta be just crazy numbers, but it's super cool. And that's like also, and then, like, not only Jessica, but you've got, Stuart Anderson, is that his name? I can't remember his ADHD channel, his old age. He's got great stuff, and Rick Green, and, Me with ADHD, and Christopher Mass at Legions of Weirdos does ADHD videos, and there's tons of them out there, you know, I could just go on and on and on about all of them. But it's really awesome that there's, people putting themselves out there, and, some are given really detailed, like, here's why this is happening, scientific, stuff. And then there's other people out there like ADHD Dumpster Fire, just telling stories. Um, and then there's me that is just doing whatever the heck I do, which is trying to make everybody um, learn ways to deal with ADHD that isn't giving them what everybody else is doing, I guess, like channel wise, like present stuff the same way. Um, so I hope people enjoy that weird little twist and take on things. Try and do something different, but that's just me. Like I said before, I make videos to help people, but I mainly make them for myself because I'm the worst critic of myself in the world. And if I can make myself happy, then I think it'll make other people happy. I don't know. Who's the channel? Blah, blah. Yes. Make life suck less. Bully Mong. Yes, that's it's funny is when I started the channel, I was like, I need to come up with a tagline or something, because that's what I do, and coming up with ideas for companies and whatever else. And I thought to myself, like, what should I do? I should make like I don't know, just something about how it's got to be a tagline, lets people know these are things that'll help life suck less, and that's it. Then my brain, boom, got it. So think most people get that, understand what that means. If you don't, if you're like from another country and you're going, "What does that even mean?" Because I understand that I'm in America, that our slang and our words might not it might translate weird to other countries, but if you're not in America or you don't know what the "make life suck less" means, it basically means, tips and tricks to make life better. Stuff that makes life bad or makes you stressed out and whatever, um, hopefully I can make those go away. Because everything that I'm giving to you are things that I personally do and use to make my life better. I hope it'll help your life better. Suck less. Healthy gamer Gigi, who takes a psychological approach. I know that. Wait, I don't know if I know that channel. I'm thinking of the is it ADHD D&D guy, um, that does Dungeons and Dragons and ADHD stuff together, which is super cool. I mean, what a just coming out of such a weird angle, like a niche that's so bizarre and fine-tuned, but that guy's got a lot of little helpful tips, intertwined with how he uses his ADHD and stuff for Dungeons and Dragons. Super neat. Yeah, I have to try out Healthy Gamer. I'm surprised I haven't found that one yet because I literally every single day will search YouTube for. I just go into YouTube search ADHD, and then I do the search filters by upload date and scroll through everything until I see the videos I've already seen in that list. And I do that. It's got to be 5 to 7 times a day at least. Then I'll check by channels that have recently uploaded. So if their SEO isn't done well, it might take me a long time to find it, or YouTube just hasn't, indexed them for some reason very well. But yeah, I'll write that one down. Healthy Gamer GG. Oh, speaking of ADHD channels, there's a new one called ADHD, right? Like, yeah, but and his is he reminds me a lot of How to ADHD, but it's really good. It's awesome. I let him know already. I said it's like I watch my videos and go, I like this, and then I watch his videos and go, oh, I suck. I'm terrible at this. It's that type of stuff. He's really good. Um, Let me look at this. Also check you know, this is from Bully. I'm not sure you will look back a couple years from now and be like, "Wow, that live show with 6, 7 people," and be like, "Wow, I remember having to come up YouTube and now I got a million subs." You know what? I don't think I'll ever get a million subs. Um, it would be neat, but I don't focus on that. Um, like I always tell people, I would much rather have 1,000 subs that interact a lot and comment and chat amongst themselves in my videos than have a million subs that don't really do anything. I mean, I see channels, that will have like 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers, and then you watching the video and you look in the comments and like nobody's commenting. It's like, huh, I would hate that because I feel like I'm not doing something right. I mean, for me, I mean, for that person, they might not even care. They're just putting stuff out there. But I like when people comment and stuff like that. I don't know why, but yeah, I would like to get 1,000 subscribers because once I do, um, and then you get 4,000 watch hours, you get monetized, which I don't really care about. But when I do that, I can start putting my shirts that I make in my shop.goadhdgo.com site. I can link them into my videos, which I love because I've been making t-shirts, ADHD shirts forever, since 2009. And once I hit that monetization thing, I can start doing that. Ads, I wish I could not put them on my videos. And when I started this channel, up until well, quite a while, whenever they started putting ads automatically on videos, I was going to make it no ads because ads are distracting. And this is an ADHD channel. You don't want distractions. I was going to turn them off. No, one, you don't make a lot of money doing that anyways when you're a channel like this, but I didn't want people distracted. And then YouTube's like, well, even if you turn off ads, we're putting them on anyways. So no, I'm not terrible. You know what? I'm not terrible. It's weird for me to say that, but um, I watch my videos over and over and over and over and over and over, and I don't know why I do it, but I just like to. Um, and when I'm watching I don't go, this is awful, which I should because I do that with everything else in my life. But when I watch my videos, I go, this is just goofy and I just have fun doing it. I think that's why. I think also because I'm very, very picky with what my videos end up looking like and being like, and I don't put it out there if I don't like it. There could be one little teeny little thing in there, and if I don't like it, I redo it, re-edit it, whatever. Let's see what do you wait. What do you think about Twitch? I've never been on Twitch. Maybe a couple times to just watch somebody a friend of mine or whatever gaming, and I went on there, but I don't really use it. I stick with YouTube and Instagram. I don't do Instagram lives, but Instagram's where I kind of is like the behind the scenes, just the most random pile of crud that I put out there. But then YouTube's where I do everything else. Some great advice was given to me one time, and it said, when it comes to YouTube or doing some, pick two, YouTube and one other. What's it going to be? You, you don't, yeah, because if you start doing Facebook and all this other stuff, then you spread yourself too thin. You feel like you have to, and then your stuff's crossing over and people are asking questions on one platform and you can't answer them because you're not paying attention. So for now, it's just Instagram and YouTube. I might do Twitch at some point just for fun. I don't know. But right now, Instagram and YouTube. Oh, and whenever I start a Patreon, which I think is just fun, I want to do a Discord, like Patreon only Discord. I've mentioned before I'm part of the That Chapter Patreon, and they have a Discord community, and it's just awesome. I just absolutely love it. I don't know why I like Patreon so much. I think it'd be fun. Also, motivation. Doing videos is fun, but the thought of people like giving you money every month, just saying, "Here, thank you for what you do," that makes me want to do it even more. which is weird, but that's just like a motivation thing for me. I don't know why. Let's see what I think of I like Discord. I think what I like about it is that um I guess it depends on which Discord. Like I said, when I'm in that chapter one, it's done really, really well. The people are awesome. The mods are good. But most people they're respectful and stuff. Facebook is just too much of a distraction. People always say, like, "Are you gonna have a Go ADHD Go Facebook page?" I'm like, "Am I gonna have a Facebook page? Like, am I gonna have a site on the most distraction website on the internet? No. I Why would I do that? There's too much distraction." On Discord, it's just, depending on how many little channels you set up, it's you can't really get too awfully distracted by other things. But let me see. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Bipolar squirrel is in the. Uh oh. Mike, are you the bipolar squirrel? You and your K-pop hatingness. Me and Mike were having a chat yesterday on the old Instagram, and I told him how much I love K-pop, and I think he didn't believe me. And then I sent him the song, like, "How could you not love this?" And he was just like, "You are a terrible person." He didn't say that, but I don't think people realize how much I love K-pop, and I'm not joking. Excuse me. Hold on one second. I feel like I have a Sir Cowboy Habersham hair on my lip. Sir Cowboy Habersham is my dog. I don't know where he's at right now, but in case you're wondering. Let me see. I'm still here. What happens? Took me forever to connect to the chat for some reason. Oh, that's weird, Mike. I don't know. You know what? Earlier when I went to go live, it just spun for a little bit, which is weird because my internet's pretty fast and it usually goes pretty quick. So maybe YouTube's just bogged down on a Sunday morning. See. Check since having wait, ever since I'm a white cat, I'm so impressed by people wearing spotless black hoodies. You know what? Usually my hoodies got dog hair all because my Sir Cowboy Habersham is a Beagle Spaniel mix, we think. It's usually got hair all over it. Oops. Is it my thing? So I have a lint roller before videos and stuff that I just rub over real quick. Usually I've got dog hair all over me, even if I vacuumed everything in the house, dusted everything, and combed all the hair out of cowboy. I still have it on me. But yeah, the black, I don't know if I'm gonna have to get rid of the black hoodie or not. I like it because it goes with the colors of my website, I guess, or my channel. I don't know. It's fun. Chex Mix. I remember Chex Mix. Isis Pryor, you are very talented. Thank you. You know how long it took to do this channel? People look at I've had people tell me before, like, wow, I can't believe your YouTube channel looks so professional and you've only been doing this for a short amount of time. It's like, I've been doing this for years, setting it up and coming up and doing studios all over my house and lighting and all this crazy stuff. Literally years and years of messing around trying to figure it out. And then ended up pretty much doing exactly the very first thing I ever thought of doing because ADHD. Oh, what else? But yeah, I wonder how many other people out there that don't have like ADHD YouTube channels that are interested in starting them because I think it's a good idea. Not one, it's like I said, it's like therapy. Like when I leave these live streams and I go upstairs, I'm like physically buzzing, like because you feel great for some reason, just getting things off your chest. I guess I don't know, um, but I think it's cool for people with ADHD. I think a lot of people should start a channel and just put their stories out there so other people can relate and all that. And plus, think about it. There are how many 65 million YouTube channels out there and very, very few ADHD focused YouTube channels. Let that sink in. I mean, ones that post regularly, how to ADHD and then Stuart, um, and people, like that Legion of Weirdos used to do it a lot. Christopher, start posting more because you're fun and I love you. That's the Legion of Weirdos guy. But I mean, out of those millions and millions of channels, think about that's not a lot of ADHD channels out there. You know, that's kind of it's kind of like with like the pioneers of like the ADHD thing. Think about 20 years from now, there'll probably be tons of ADHD YouTube channels, but now there's hardly any. So it's fun too. If, as long as you're not a really picky person on what you want things to look like. Because if you're like me and you want it to look a certain way, it can take forever. Okay, Mike says, "Want to hear something funny? I made a vegan page back in 2016, then went vegan for like 6 months and quit, but never erased the page." I have so many like websites I started a long time ago of things I was going to do that I never did. I think it's just common for people with ADHD. Or another way I like to think of stuff like this is you started a page out of in 2016 where you were going to do vegan, then you quit. But did you really quit, or did you just take a break? Like, you hear people say, like, "I start projects all the time, I never finish them." And I say, "You never finished them yet." There's no timeline. Do what you wanna do. There's no, I guess, like I said, timeline, which I just said, duh. But what else am I guess content was good, but there were, like, 3 or more followers over there and than on my current HD page. Yeah, it's interesting how, um, I've done other, pages for things, but I think if I was focused on followers and numbers, I would have never done this page because I have like a Facebook page I did years ago, and it was all about this thing I was fascinated by, which was the artwork of like vintage pinup girls, Vargas and Elvin and all those people, Pearl Fresh, the people who painted these back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, these pinup girls and calendars and stuff. And I was always fascinated by these like cheesy um, paintings. And so I just did a Facebook page where I was just putting all the cool stuff that I found, that kind of just from myself. And it ended up being like 20,000, 25,000 people are following it. I haven't touched it in forever, but um, like I said, it was something that was interesting. And once I put a ton of stuff on there, I just didn't care anymore. And if I would have been focused on the people who like the page, that's probably the best place to go to, promote my shirts or whatever else I'm doing. But that's not where my heart's at. That stuff's cool. It's fun to look at, but and to share with people. But this is more fun to do. So your channel is visually pleasing, surprising, Melissa, and very pleasing. It's thank you, Mike. I You should see all the photos. I should put them on Instagram sometime. Is all the photos of the studios that I've had set up in my house. I mean, literally every single room, and yes, a bathroom at one point. Um, where I've had stuff set up and the lighting and the madness and all this stuff. Um, and then it ended up, becoming incredibly simple because I realized that when I watch videos, if there's something in the background, I'm looking at it. When I watch How to ADHD videos, she's got Post-its on her little bookcase, whatever. I like zoom in to see what they say. I can't help myself because it's just my brain going, "What's that? And what's that? And what's that? And what's that toy?" And then I end up having to watch the video 5 times. And then I thought, you know what? If I don't have anything in the background going on, one, I don't get distracted when I'm trying to film it and going, "Oh, that light is not centered with this light over here, and that's not right here. Like it should be balanced." There's nothing back there. I can't do that. And so it was kind of like for my sanity, for one. Um, but once I got it really stripped down to where it is now, I was like, well, I like how this looks. I think I'll keep it. So I'm glad other people like it too. But yeah, if you're wondering why it's so simple, it's because I want people focusing on the information and not on anything else. Oh, see, start again. Genpro says starting one of these YouTube channels is one of my many ideas, but I've gotten too many other priorities. Yeah, it's hard to get it started when you have other priorities, especially if it's like work priorities, family priorities, and stuff like that. It can be a huge challenge. I think that's another reason why it took me a really long time is I had a business thing that 2 years ago in November 2017, I started and I was like, I can do this and my videos, we should be okay. But then it blew up and took off way faster than I thought. I basically spent 2 years doing nothing but that because was making, money, and it was just fun. But now that thing is, to the point where it's on autopilot. I don't really touch it, and it makes money, so I have time to do this. And I've started to be able to slowly work it into my schedule over the years. I'm figuring out how to make it work. I was coming to my house with the wait, yeah, pinup girls. Yes, Mike. Yep, I'll show this one. Yeah, pinup girls from it's not like the photos of pinup girls, Mike, that I like it was the paintings. If you ever just look at Pearl Fresh, uh the style and the cheesier the thing that was going on, found them fun and fascinating. I just like stuff from a long time ago, like from the 20s through the 40s. I was fascinated by that stuff. But yeah, I just always found it really cool. I actually had some Vargas calendars, um, actual ones I got at auctions and stuff. But yeah, it's just I'm just always fascinated by that artwork for some reason. Not like an ooh, look at those girls, but just like this is just fun and so quirky and weird. Yet the talent, when you see, it's just amazing. What else? I follow a pinup group, but it's more rockabilly vibe and modern. I've seen those checks mix the rockabilly like pinup. That's really cool. It's kind of keeping that whole uh type of vibe thing going, and it's always like you have the ones like all the tattoos, and they always have the bandanas, and they're always usually like a lot of them I see they're like recreating something that they've seen in the past. It's fun. I get a kick out of it. But yeah, I just love the old paintings like Alfred and Vargas. Pearl Fresh was probably one of my favorites. But interesting. People, anybody's like just coming on right now is going probably thinking like, what in the world are they talking about? We're talking about I don't even know really. Let's see, checks mix. Bully Mong. I have ADHD comorbid with autism. No, Billy, bully. I think at some times I think I might have autism, something like that. I've got a friend that I did stand up comedy with who had Asperger's, which I know the name's changed, something else now. But I saw a lot of me in him, things that he does, and there's times where I think, I have ADHD, but it seems like there's something else going on. I haven't been diagnosed for autism. I've never like brought it up to my psychiatrist or anything, but it's like something inside says, I seem like there's something else going on. I don't know. But I think it's pretty common, like I said, ADHD and goes hand in hand with so many other things. It is very hard, bully. I fully understand um what's going on. I know people that have like ADHD and then like I don't want to call it like full blown autism, like when you think of somebody autistic, but I couldn't imagine having both of them at the same time on those drastic levels. But yeah, it's I struggle enough with just my insane ADHD, and just having to deal with something else like that would be hard, incredibly hard. Don't worry, I'm to keep if you're researching things to help out and overcome things, just keep doing it. I found it helps me so much. Instead of going, I can't do this, or this is making my life crazy hard. If I research and learn about it or connect with people who are going through the same thing, it helps a lot. Madison is living. I'm wondering. Oh, Madison is listening. Are you sure you're listening, Madison? Are you sure? I think you are. I believe you. It worked pretty well. No distractions while watching the video. Yeah, that's. I'm glad if other people like caught on to that's why I'm doing it. At some point, I'll probably be adding stuff to the back. Um, so I think it'd be fun. I've had so many weird ideas of the studio. One of them I like is buying things that are in spray painting them the same black color and just putting shelves that are black on the wall and just covering a wall with tchotchkes or whatever, and that I paint black. And so it's just a wall of random things, but everything is the same color. It's weird, but I think it'd be fun. I'm actually baking a cake, making from scratch right now. My first pie in 5 years. However, concerta and caffeine. I love baking. Like if I bake a cake, I like making it from scratch. From like, you know, you can buy it in a cake mix in the box, wonderful. But making it myself is so much fun. What else? I'm waiting on grocery delivery and doing stuff. I gotta go to the grocery later too. Actually, I don't go to the grocery. We do the click. It's called a click list. You like order it on an app and then you just go and pick it up. I love that. It's fun. See, check me. I know some researchers that are thinking that ASD and ADHD might be more closely related than we currently think. I don't know much about the research though. Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot more. It's a oh, I just knew exactly what ASD meant and then totally forgot. Um, what's ASD mean again? Oh, I hate when I do that. I just started to say what it meant, and then my brain's like, gone. No, we don't need that. But where to go? But yeah, sensory dysphoria. What is it? Acute. What does ASD meaning? It's sensory dysphoria. I can't remember the first letter. What's the first part mean? See, this is like it'll drive me crazy now thinking about it. I'll remember like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll just wake up and go, oh, ASD. This. That's what I meant. But yeah, I'm hearing a lot about ASD and ADHD. I'm hearing a lot about it a lot more um, than I have in the past. I got to look it up now because I can't. Autism spectrum disorder. What am I thinking of? Autism spectrum disorder. I'm thinking of the one where it's like like super sensitive to things. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh my lord, what is wrong with me? I don't know. Let me take some water from my fancy shag mug here. I don't know if anybody follows me on Instagram, but I got this mug for Christmas and I love it. My favorite artist, Shag, and I had it from Christmas Day until 2 weeks ago. Took me that long to notice that there's a turtle on there. No clue he was on there. That's me. I'm pretty observant. NASA, call me. Madison says, Johnny? Yes, that's me. My car passed the state inspection yesterday. They still do that? They still do the inspection e-check? Is that what that is? My car is old, but I love it. I don't drive a lot. Like I don't need a car to drive back and forth to work because I work from home. But my little car is I love my car. It's like the car that's totally not me. Like when I drive around in it and I drive past a store, like a strip mall that has all the windows and you can see yourself driving by, I giggle every time because I look like a total idiot because it's not me. It's the coolest car. Like middle-aged men love it. I get checked out by more middle-aged men than probably anybody on the planet because of my car. They're always looking at it. But it's a 2004 BMW 330ci. It's a convertible sports package thing. It was a relative's and they were selling it. And I needed a car just to get around in. And I think they didn't really want to sell it, but they were. So we bought it. But yeah, it's fun just to drive around top down and do whatever. But yeah, it's totally not me. I mean, look at me. I'm a total goofball. I drive around at blaring K-pop. Confuses the heck out of people. I'm still spectrum disorder for real. I have a nice book. ADHD, GAD, bipolar type 2, and good old depression, and a sharing type, a brain tumor. Mike, what in the world? What the heck's going on there? Your body's just like, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. I actually have, when I first got diagnosed with ADHD, my psychologist said, I think you might have a little bit of bipolar sprinkled in there also. Not sure. I think depression was also in there. Some anxiety issues, which haven't had ever since October 2019 when I started taking CBD oil. For some reason, that just obliterated that stuff. No more anxiety, no more depression. Weird. No idea how that worked, but yeah, that was life changing. RSD, yes, rejection sensitivity dysphoria. That's my brain just shutting off. That's what I was thinking of. Yes, my shag mug. I love my shag mug. Generalized anxiety disorder. Yeah, I think that's part of what I have also. My daughter, I think, has that also. Mine wasn't real bad. A lot of stuff you realize it's like the comorbidities with ADHD. Um, like ADHD causes a lot of my problems. I get anxious because of stuff with my ADHD, get depressed because of my ADHD causes that. But let's see. Mike has a Tacoma 2020 and 6 months later grabbed an early retirement offer and got out of air like a bat out of hell. Oh, my relative just got a Toyota Tacoma yesterday, and I think it's a 2020. Literally yesterday. That's a cool cup. Yes, I love my shag mug. It's my second. I got this one and a bunch of mugs for Christmas. My That Chapter mug that I love. But yeah, I love this one because it's ginormous. Which K-pop groups I like? All of them. I have a K-pop playlist. That is, it's got to be like 15 hours long now. I'm addicted to the K-pop random dance games where they just play clips of K-pop songs and the people dance to them. They're like out in the just huge group of people out in the mall somewhere, and then they just play clips of songs, and then I hear a cool one, I put it on there. But if I had to name one, huge BTS fan, Hyuna, big fan of hers. Stray Kids, ATEEZ, Taemin, Blackpink. Think of all the other ones, all of them. And people, what's funny is people, when I tell them that, they're like, I don't understand why. Like, aren't you the dude who was just blaring Motorhead? What now? What is this K-pop you're listening to? Uh, I've discovered what I love about K-pop is I don't know what they're saying. So if I'm sitting down and working and I'm listening to music, my brain's like hearing the words, and the words can affect your feelings. You know, you hear a sad song and the lyrics, and you're like, oh, I don't feel like working now. I'm depressed. You listen to the same song, sounding wise, music wise, K-pop. You don't know what they're saying. I'm totally fine with that. It's not as distracting to me. So I think it's one of the main reasons I like it. Plus, it's just weird. And the crazy K-pop songs. Stray Kids, something effects. What is that song called? I can't remember the name of it now. It's just so bizarre, and I love that. I don't know. It's just fun stuff. I get such a kick out of it. I put over 10,000 K in my. I drive so infrequent, Mike, that when I got my car, I forget how many miles on. It's only got like 6,000 more, and that's been over like 4 years. I just don't drive much. Oh, Mike doesn't want me talking about my K-pop. I'm telling you, it's addicting. When I first heard it, I was like, this is just, I don't know what the deal is. And then the more I heard it, I was like, this is crazy cool. Like, I don't know, it's just neat. I got RSD and definitely body dysphoria too. Dysmorphia, body dysmorphia. What is body dysmorphia? I know what that is. My brain's just not in that mode of really thinking. How many people? Oh, there's only 3 people here now. All that talk about whatever else. Sorry, guys. It wasn't really ADHD related there for a bit, and I think everybody like ditched out. Oh no, there's only 2 now. But you're still here. Let me know in the chat. This is probably the worst live stream ever. I apologize. Not really. We're supposed to be chatting ADHD stuff, but we kind of went off on a tangent. Go figure. Nobody's surprised. Nobody should be surprised. I got a little list of stuff I put down here to talk about. We talk about that. Oh, I'm doing a. I'm starting like all these little series, these little weird ideas that I came up with. Earlier we talked about the answer the comments where people would comment on a video with something that would choose like a question, like why would this if you do the whatever it is, or from other people's videos because I'm on other channel videos all the time commenting because I don't know, I just enjoy it. But I'll see people asking questions. I'm like, oh, that's something. But I'm gonna be doing some answer the comments videos coming very soon. In a series called Story View, ZTORIVEU. Story View. It's actually story interviews together, where I'm going to be interviewing people with ADHD that have like ADHD channels or do ADHD related things on Instagram or wherever that I think are helpful. But the whole thing is going to be about them and their journey and whatever else. Kinda like a discussion. I've got questions that I'll ask them and stuff, so it's kinda like an interview. We'll be there side by side type of thing, but it's gonna be, their story and an interview, so story view. But I had to make it all spelled weird just because that's how I am. But, yeah, and there's gonna be, I got a whole list of people that I wanna do this for. So if you have anybody that like, an ADHD YouTube channel or somebody that provides really good ADHD information that you think, "Oh, yeah, I'd like to know more about their ADHD journey and their story," let me know, and comment on this video or in the chat, or I'm on Instagram, let me know there. It'll be fun. I think it'll be interesting, and, just wanna say right now that there's gonna probably be, a handful of ADHD life coaches on there, but I'm letting everybody knows right away that in the beginning of the videos, I'm gonna promote whatever they do and talk about it then at the very, very beginning before the interview story even starts, saying, "Here's what they do, so if you're interested, check that out." But during the, entire interview, it's never gonna be promotion or marketing. I let them know right away, like, "There's no marketing, there's no throw out all your business chat. This is all about you. That's it. That's what we're gonna be talking about, that person." 'Cause I think it'll help out a lot of people seeing, um, all this the different stories and different people all over the place. I got people I wanna do from, America, somebody up in Canada, somebody in Holland, England, Australia, Finland, all over the place. So it's gonna be, interesting not only just, interviews and stories of people and their ADHD experience, but also how it's gonna be think interesting different because different countries do it different ways, diagnosis and everything. But I'm just rambling. I apologize. What else do I have on here that I can talk about? I think I talked about that, and talked about that. Um, my last video we talked about that one. Takes the meds and backs the beds. Um, I had fun with that one. Shout out to anybody who knew what that song was that played in the very beginning when the train went by with the woo woo sound. If you knew that, congratulations, you're old. What else? What do people want to talk about? If there's anybody in the chat, is there anything going on in your life right now where you're going, man, I need help with this? Because there's one thing weird about making videos is I'm kind of making them based on um usually whatever just pops in my head that I think would be helpful. But I know there's people out there that are going, oh, I'm struggling with this. I wish somebody would make a video about this specific topic. I think that's what's great about live streams is we can just come in here and go, Johnny, I have this problem. What do you think? And I can boop, immediately give input. Which when I start doing live streams, that's my whole thing. And my whole thing is like, stick with these ADHD things, these ADHD only topics, answer people's questions. But at the same time, people are talking about all kinds of things. So who knows where it's going to go? I'm just glad you guys are here. It's really cool knowing that there's people out there that are interested in this weird thing that I do. Not really weird, I guess, but when I watch my videos, I think there's something wrong with that guy. Oh God, that's me. Like, I'm a weirdo. I just have to accept that. Or young with old taste. Yes. But I found out most people who know that song are usually older. Or they've stumbled upon it by accident somewhere. But it's yeah, I don't know. I don't know where most of my ideas come from, but it's a scary place. Where is everybody from that's in the chat right now? Because I'm always fascinated where people are from. Like when I do these videos, I'm like, I should do them at like 11 a.m. because that's people be awake. And then once I start it, I go, oh yeah, there might be people other countries that's tomorrow already, or who knows what time. Weird makes life interesting. Yes, right. I always tell people to embrace their weirdness. Um, I think that's what people need to do. I think we're so programmed to be normal that we try to be normal so much that we stop being weird. And then when we stop being weird is when we stop being not only ourselves, but being interesting. I know people with ADHD are like, it's not a weird thing. It's like, yeah, it is. I mean, we have to learn to laugh at ourselves. I mean, heck, my mom is a throat cancer survivor, had cancer, terrible, like the worst experience of my entire life and her entire life. And one thing she told me, she's like, in her these group therapy she did is people like said that you got to learn to laugh at the situation, not at cancer because that's a terrible thing. But one lady's like, I have no hair, I'm bald, I look crazy. I look crazy with hair. I look crazy without it. And they would all laugh about it. And she's like, "That's what I needed." Laughing about it just kind of makes me feel, but makes it easier to deal with. So when I knew my ADHD was made me so weird, I used to hate it. And then one day I was like, you know what? It's good that I'm weird. If it wasn't for my weirdness, all these shirt business that I'm doing, all these shirts I'm selling online with these crazy quotes on it would have never happened. But like I said, embrace your weirdness and just let it go and flow, and I think life will be a lot better. Bill, Bully's from Indiana. I'm going to be going to Indiana a lot starting, I don't know when, soon. My daughter's going to Ball State, I do believe, in Muncie next year because she's dang brilliant. I'm from the Faroe Island. I have no idea what it is. I'm gonna have to get on find out where that is. Is it Faroe? Gotta run. No, Mike's from the Sunshine State. My lovely lady is from Gainesville, so I'm very familiar. She always wants to move back there. And okay, let me find out where the Faroe Islands are. I should know this, but I don't. Actually, does anybody know? Oh, it's salmon. Oh, it's a country. Wow. I should have paid attention in school, just in general. See what else is going on here. That's interesting. Which I can see if I have any other ADHD related stuff to talk about. Oh, I was saying earlier, like I write how you talked about capturing ideas and writing things down, and so that you don't ever forget them. I have this thing in this app called Notion that I use for my video ideas and whatnot, where I capture everything and put them in there. And for some reason, it's not showing up like I need it to. Sometimes apps are so incredibly wonderful and like have so many features that it makes it impossible. And okay, it's got to load up first here. It's kind of sad when you have so much stuff that is when you go, I'm scrolling through it, it takes a second to load everything up. Okay, I'm gonna hit the bottom there. Let's see. Oh, right now my idea is there's 304. This isn't the complete list, but I'll just show you real quick. I'm not even to the top yet, and it's still going. Oh gosh, it's still going. There we go. I'll just start going through this little list here. All right, you're not gonna listen to me, are you? Where's my deal? Little iPad here. Yeah, if I just keep going, these are all videos that have not been made yet that I've already started writing. It just keeps going. There it goes. But those are all. If I wouldn't, that list would be. If that list was in my head, it'd be like three things. Capture everything. I feel I used to mask my ADHD, but nowadays I give up because I learned how to accept it the way that I am. Yeah, I think when people started talking about masking and I started hearing about it, I was like, what are they talking about? Because I don't I don't do that. Um, but then again, I have inattentive ADHD, so I wonder if inattentive people do it less because they're just quiet in general. Um, but also I don't work in a business like with a bunch of people. Maybe if I worked in an office with a bunch of people, I might do it. But I doubt it because I'm pretty straightforward with people about my ADHD. When I get new clients, I tell them, they're like, "Well, how long do you think take to do this project? Like, how many hours so we can budget?" I tell them, "I have ADHD." I have ADHD. I have 0 concept of time. It doesn't exist. So when somebody asks if it takes how long it takes to do, a logo, I know, but I don't know. Like, I can track my time and know, okay, it usually takes X amount of hours to do, but when I think about that in my head, without look I don't know. So I just tell them, "Whatever, come up with a budget, what you think it's gonna be, what you're looking to pay, and then we'll figure it out." But I'm very open about it. I let people know right away, you know, my ADHD is gonna make it's hard for me to budget hours, but at the same time, it allows me to do a lot more. I get paid to come up with ideas for things, and I do it really quick, and it's easy for me. So, but yeah, I can see people being depending on your job and situation, there's a lot of masking. But I think in general, I think a lot of people mask, even like normal people. I think they mask a lot also. Yeah, Madison says, "I don't understand time either." Yeah, I don't think anybody with ADHD truly understands time. It's, like I said, I'm totally unaware of it unless I have the timer that I have on my phone that goes off every hour throughout the day, and reminds me what time it is. If I don't have that thing going, it is literally I wake up and the next minute it's like 4 o'clock and I'm confused. I have no idea what happened. But yeah, I think we were talking about, the whole masking thing. I think we start removing the mask more. I think life is easier. I think that people see ADHD as this shameful thing to have, but in reality, it's a pain in the butt, but it's who you are. It's part of what makes you the person you are. And I think just trying to find the positives in that is good. Hence this channel. I wanted people to see the positivity, not really see the positivity in ADHD, but how to find the positivity in having ADHD, which is hard. People will be like, "Isn't that toxic positivity when you're trying to make?" It's like, no, it's still terrible, but you can go through life going, "This is terrible. There's nothing I can do about woe is me," or "This is terrible. How can I make it less terrible? It's still going to be hard, but how can I make it less terrible?" That's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to help out. And I'm just rambling on like an idiot because that's what I do. Actually, if you guys would ever meet me in person, if there was ever some ADHD gathering and you met me, I'm real quiet. At least I think I am. Other people say, like, no, you're not. You put me on a stage though, oh my lord. I'm a totally different person. I do stand up or I played in a band quiet until I get on the stage, and then it's like a whole new person. I think actually what just becomes all my ADHD-ness just comes out, and just totally it's another personality just starts going. Mariosa Yan, hope I pronounced that right. Was there a time when you had a reoccurring racing thought, like in a loop, that you had to just lie in bed for it to stop, or do you do something very fast? I have those all the time. These weird things that get in my head and just keep going, and I cannot stop it. Um, Usually I try not to lay there and think about it, like, in bed, because 'cause I've done that before, um, and it's not good, but I do notice I get those a lot of times for some reason, I think when I'm tired, like, I'll get them, like, at early in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, something like that will pop in my head and just go. During the day sometimes, yeah, stuff that will do that, but I found that if I write it down, it kinda goes away. It's interesting, but there's other times where things will pop in my head and I can't get them to go away at all. I just actually spent the past 2 days doing that. Um, it was absolutely awful, and hence one of the reasons I'm gonna do this live stream is because it was so overwhelming me, and nothing I was doing was making it go away, I figured maybe if I do something like the live stream, it'll shake it. Um, but we had a situation, not a terrible situation like that was it was a serious but not a life-threatening thing, but my brain locked on to something where it was, what if something terrible would have happened? And that person is now gone. And it locked onto that, and everything I did, my brain was going, "What if you're eating breakfast and she's not here anymore?" Like, and I could not shake it. God, it was horrible. Um, and today I started finally stopping that. But yeah, oh, oh god, it was the worst. Oh, I'm sorry. But Bully says that when I'm tired, I get giggly. I don't when I get tired, I just get I don't even know. If I'm really tired, I want to eat constantly. And my ears ring. Kind of weird. Kind of a strange it's like a weird ringy sound. I don't really ever get giggly, but I know people who do. My significant other gets giggly, I think, when she's tired, and it is the greatest thing on the face of the planet. Someday I'm gonna do a video when she gets on, because she gets on these laughing things where I'll say something or do something, and she'll start laughing, and she can't stop. And it's that laughing where you don't really make a noise, and she just has tears and just does this thing a lot, and nothing makes me happier than hearing that laugh. I mean, her laugh in general, it's just, somebody could have a gun to my head, and I hear that, and I'm like, "Ah, this is awesome." But I'm just rambling on. But yeah, the whole race, the thing in the loop, or you said, it can get, debilitating. A lot of times, though, I catch myself anytime something negative starts popping in my head, which used to happen all the time. Not as much since the whole CBD oil type stuff, but um, I've gotten to the habit of telling myself to be quiet. So something will pop in my head and start looping, or something. I just literally tell my brain, like, just stop. We're good. What's wrong with you? Just on to the next thing. So yeah, Mike. Yeah, it is like electricity. It's weird. I went through a phase a long time ago where I wasn't sleeping much. I stayed up super late. Sometimes I just stay up all night. But yeah, it was weird. Your body does feel electric. I wonder if that's what it is. If it's some type of, I mean, there's electricity in your body. So who knows? It's just strange. I like the rambling on. I can ramble on forever, but usually I don't. I'm usually I don't really talk a lot. But when I'm on here, if people come on and it's just somebody going, and I've been on live streams where they're reading and they're just, oh, I don't know, like they don't talk much. So I figure if I just keep talking, it'll either annoy people or they'll just keep listening. Um, it's I don't know. I did an interview with Yorica Van Huygen, ADHD dumpster fire, and she's just constant, like goes and goes and go like, and that's not me. So when I started doing these like live streams, before I do them, I just think of that, like, be like her, be like that. Just think of things to talk about, and it works. It's weird, very strange. I find it odd that it's with ADHD, we try to come up with these tactics to make us do things and figure out how to get our brain to do certain stuff. And sometimes it's these little weird things that will just get your brain to do a certain thing. Like for me, it's like doing live stream. Like think about this person doing it this way, like how they were. Like, and I just do it. My brain's like, let's do that. Um, I had somebody give me tips recently to try with, overcoming some ADHD issues, and it was just the weirdest thing. And then it worked. But other times, like me sitting there trying to talk to myself to get myself motivated, can't do it. But I think of that person telling me to do it, then I can do it. That makes any sense whatsoever. He said, yes. Is it Mariosa? I think it was Jan. It's nice if the person you're talking can tolerate rambling about random things. Yeah, what's interesting is I've never really talked a lot with somebody who has ADHD, like one on one about ADHD. Um, but when I did the interview with the dumpster fire, we talked for 2.5 hours, and the topics just bouncing all over the place. And it was just so much rambling on about random things, yet it all made sense. And it was awesome to be able to just talk to somebody like that, that was on that same weird level and not feel weird about it. I know. I think that's what's great about live streams is I can just talk about stuff um and jump all over the place. And I feel like people in the chat aren't going, what is he talking about now? Like, why is he talking about this now? Why are they talking about that? People just go with it. Like it makes sense. I don't know if that made any sense, but it does. I think it's what interesting also is I've met people that I don't know, that you talk to them and they're jumping all over the place, like at a party or something, and there'll be somebody there and they'll be telling a story or talking about something, and there'll be like 5 people standing around listening, and that person gets done and they leave, whatever, and people are like, that was all over the place. Like, what the heck were they talking about? And for me, I'm like, it made total sense to me. That person has to have ADHD because I understood everything. I never got lost, bouncing all over the place. That guy was talking about the Muppets, and then somehow he was talking about spaceships, and then he was talking about these tough skin jeans he bought when he was little. Like somehow it all connected, and I got it. Everybody else is confused. What else is going on here? Madison, LA. I like following trains of thoughts and absolutely adore references. I'm confused on that. Then again, I'm also really hungry. Maybe that's why. Trains of thought. Yeah, I like following trains of thought. Um, I like following trains of thought that start in one place and then end up completely somewhere else. I mean, a lot of my videos when I start like that. They start out with one thing, and I start thinking about all the stuff I want to do, and then it always changes. It never, ever, ever ends up being what I started or planned with. It's crazy stuff. And speaking of references, there's all kinds of weird references in my videos. I don't know why I feel why I have to do that, but said in one of my other live streams, there's so much weird things in my videos peppered in for my own entertainment that nobody else is going to catch. But for some reason, it just makes it way more enjoyable for me. Random things that have a pattern. I wonder if ADHD people are better at picking out pattern stuff. People like people with autism are really good with patterns. And I think my ADHD, I think I'm like that also. But then again, like we talked earlier, maybe I do have some sort of somewhere on the spectrum. I don't know. Numerology. Yeah, I know people that are really into that type of thing. Patterns with numbers. I don't think I'm like that, but yeah, interesting. Like I said, it's stuff like that people hear and go, That's kind of weird, but that's interesting." I always tell people, if nobody forgets the guy who wears a red tuxedo to the prom, go to prom, you remember anything? No. The guy who wore a red tuxedo to prom? Yep. You remember that guy. Weird is good. Now there are 8 people in here. I'm still just talking. I'm surprised it's only been an hour. Last time we did this was like a forever. It was like 2.5 hours. I'm just going to scroll back up through and make sure I didn't miss anything. And thank you guys for coming and watching this. I don't know if everybody subscribed or not. I know I'm supposed to do the whole, if you like this video, like it and share it with your friend. I don't do that. I just think people know what to do. Plus, usually I forget. So maybe that's why. But I did make this sign just for kicks. There we go. How pretty that is. I hope it's like normal because on my screen right now it's backwards. So I like to throw him up every once in a while in a video just for kicks. Um, but yeah, if you want to subscribe to the channel and you're not, do it. That's a really good thing about subscribing is that it shows up in your little YouTube feed. So whenever I do a video, you'll see it. If you're scrolling through there, there it'll be. I like remember things for you know what, bully. I say that all the time for poops and giggles, but I use the word all the time. I think it's so funny. Any thoughts on hoarding? Yeah, you know what? I've been seeing a lot about ADHD and hoarding. I don't hoard really, but I do weird things where I'll have certain things like you just don't get rid of. You never look at them. I never touch them or anything, but I just still don't want to get rid of them. I don't know why. I'm getting better at it by just getting rid of stuff like, who cares? But yeah, it is something I'm seeing more and more of is the whole hoarding thing with ADHD, or I'm hearing more about it. But it might also be a thing where somebody's talked about it and now other people kind of jumping on the trend. Like especially if there's something out there and somebody makes a video and talks about ADHD and hoarding, then a lot of other videos will come out and or there'll be articles online about it. They'll jump in on that. But I don't know. I've just started hearing about that though. I like have random hobbies as well. Yeah, random hobbies I think is common with ADHD people. You always hear people like, I have all the stuff I've started and I've never finished. And I like said earlier, you haven't finished yet. And plus, what's wrong with having a bunch of hobbies you start and never really do anymore? It's better than having no hobbies or one hobby that you just do all the time and obsess over and till you're just bored with it and then that's it. If you want to do a bunch of stuff, do it. Do whatever you want. You never know what it's going to lead. You know, starting something that becomes a hyper focus on, and who knows what will happen from there. It's normal. Animals and music. Is that your like the hoarding, Mariosa? Animals and music? Oh, I think the dogs are out behind me. Someday I have to do a video, a live stream outside because over here you can't see it. There's these double doors that go into my backyard, and there are dogs on like every yard around me, and they're awesome. There's a gigantic white poodle on one side of me named Noodle the poodle, and then behind us there's these two crazy dogs that are awesome. And I'll go out there someday, and you guys can see these dogs because if I'm out there, they want me to pet them, and they're just wonderful. Let's see. Isa says, "Yeah, I never finish anything, but get obsessed with bunch of things." Yes, I think that's just so common with ADHD people. Get totally into something and then it fizzles out. Um, which can happen. I mean, happen to anybody, but I think ADHDers do it more because you'll be doing something like, "Oh, this is my big thing I want to do now," and then you'll think of something else, and that becomes the big thing you want to do now. Um, and people see that like the hyper focusing, and they're like, "Oh, it's bad. I never finished." But think about all the stuff you might learn at the time. Like I used to sell stuff on eBay, and I used to go to auctions and get old photos and stuff and sell them on eBay. And I became obsessed with learning about these photos, where they were from, and all this stuff, and kind of like obsessed with history and all this stuff tied in with them. And I learned a whole lot. I don't do that anymore. I've like moved on to other things, but yeah, was that time wasted? No, it was fun. Neuter the poodle. It does sound like Neuter the poodle. Noodle the poodle is absolutely awesome. This big white dog, and when he comes outside, he like looks towards our doors, like he knows I might be out there. And if I go out there, it like it whines at the fence and jumps up and down. It's an awesome dog. It's just huge, but such a big sweetie. Let me see. Yeah, like, do you prefer dealing with animals? Mariosa asked, "Do you prefer dealing with animals?" Do I prefer dealing with animals? I'm not sure what that means, but animals don't really listen to. And I found out that I've been checking my analytics. Zero animals subscribe to my channel. So I don't know what I think about animals anymore now. What else is going on? What else is going like, anything exciting going on in anybody just everyday life? Any, like, ADHD related stuff recently that you know, ideas or things that you've discovered to help out make your life better, making your life suck less? Anything, interesting? I always think it's, cool when, I come up with something that, uh, really helps out with something that I'm dealing with. Um, be it, I don't know, finding a new app or something that's makes your life a lot easier. I'm like the app master. I think I've downloaded every single task manager app and whatever else, just for fun. Um, but anything out there that I should know about, something cool or interesting or something, I don't know, something you've done this week or recently that you're like, oh, this makes things a lot better for me. And there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, you can't focus on your preparation for an exam. That's always a pain. I think also because it's not only is it hard to study for an exam, but kind of at the same time you don't want to study for an exam. So it's I always found school incredibly challenging. Maybe because I had ADHD and I did not know I had ADHD. Um, but yeah, and I had like the thing called like test anxiety, where I could study for a test constantly and I could know the answer to every single thing on there. And then when the paper was laid in front of me, blank. Like I would forget everything. I have an aunt that does the same thing, but that was terrible. But man, I had some crazy stuff when I was in college, just trying to remember everything. I'm sure people with ADHD know, like, if you have any textbook that you're allowed to write in college or high school, or now I do stuff on, or they do stuff on iPads. Everything's highlighted. So weird. I don't feel like reading this psychology book, but I'll just highlight the important parts, which apparently I just highlighted everything. Um, I'd even read the stuff like into a digital recorder and then play it in earphones while I slept, thinking maybe that'll work. It was weird. Is the is this the wrong time or place to discuss hypersexuality of on ADHD people? It's usually a topic I try to avoid just because I never know who's going to watch my stuff, but I do hear that a lot. Um, the whole like hypersexuality thing. It's you think about it, people with ADHD kind of go full in on everything that they're anything that they do. So I don't I think it's you throw anything, any type of topic or activity, and that's pretty much what's going to happen is probably, you know, hyper everything. If that makes any sense. But yeah, that's something I might have to talk about at some point. Um, I feel weird talking about it because I don't know, but who knows? Mira said, I didn't know I had ADHD. I failed a subject in college. I think I saw a really great meme one time. It just said, my kid has ADHD. No, wait, what was it? My kid has AD. My kid got ADD and a bunch of Fs or something like that. It was I can't remember, but I thought it was funny because it was about school and about they're having ADHD in school, and I was like, oh, I relate to that because that's how it was. Like you had one subject you're really good in, you get an A in that, and then D's and Fs and everything else. So yeah, I didn't know I had ADHD in college, and I did okay. I did really good in psychology because that was something I was really interested in. I always tell people I was in idiot math, honors psychology, which baffled my counselor. She's like, "You just don't do good in anything, but why in the world are you in this high level psychology class?" And they couldn't figure it out. I said, That's because I was really interested in psychology." Chex Mix. I looked at my dad's textbooks when I was a kid, and everything was highlighted. It was like the parent parts were highlighted. But yeah, that's my textbooks when I was in college. And colors too, every color imaginable, just highlighting everywhere. Don't remember any of it, but my brain was like, this is important, and that's important, that's important, that's important. Check, yeah, I'm pretty sure ADHD. He's where I got my ADHD from. Yeah, it's when I got diagnosed with ADHD, I started to realize I think my parents both have it. Not to my level, but I noticed it in other relatives and stuff also. None of them are diagnosed either. They're all older, but it's interesting when you get it, then you start looking at your family members going, "Oh, yeah, I see now." Yeah, tragic for me. I still don't actually know what I really have. Mariosa, have you been, like, diagnosed yet? Um, if not, try to go get diagnosed. It could be ADHD, it might be something else. I know a lot of people out there will self-diagnose themselves, and that's wonderful, but it can be terrible at the same time. 'Cause I know people who thought they had ADHD and like, "I self-diagnosed ADHD, I'm gonna do all this stuff," and they still had really bad issues, and then they finally went to a psychologist or a doctor, and the doctor's like, you've got, generalized anxiety disorder. You've got this, and depression mixed with this. You don't have ADHD. This is why this isn't working for you." Then they get medication or they do, learn stuff to deal with those, and things get better. Keep hearing weird noises. Tragic for me is I just read that one. There's 7 people in here. Wonder what everybody's doing right now. Oh, somebody's up above me walking around. It sounded like somebody tapping on my window. Alright, I think people have fallen asleep. I wouldn't doubt them. I watch my live streams, I'm like, "Why would anybody watch this guy?" Nah. Oh, you work in healthcare? Maybe if I find someone someday. Yeah, I would definitely get it checked out because I think just getting diagnosed was a huge relief for me. Before I did any other things, it just made everything made sense at that point. Mike is making a cake. I wanna make a cake now. I like making cake. I like making anything, cooking anything. I'm not good at it, but it's fun. Trying to think of anything else exciting going on. What else is exciting going on? The news, crazy stuff going on. Trying to steer clear of that just because, um, I'll be able to come here and go just to forget about life for a few minutes. I haven't sleepy. I haven't sleepy went to bed. Yes. I'm very sleepy too today. I think it's because it's been warm, cold, warm, cold. That always makes me tired. And then I'll get a right when I'm super tired, like I need to go to bed early. I'll get that second wind and then I'm up till 11. Or we start watching Ted Lasso and then it's all over. I just want to keep watching that. And if has anybody seen Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus? If not, highly, highly, highly suggest it. Possibly one of the most. It's incredibly well written, but it's one of those shows where you watch and expect one thing, and then it ends up turning into something totally different. It's a great message in that show too. It's really great. For ADHD tips and tricks, I'll say the one that always. Oh, this is from Chex Mix. I got to remind myself to say the person's name so when people watching the video later know what I'm reading in the comments. It says for ADHD tips and tricks, I'll say the one I always say. Alarmy has an option to make you scan a barcode or take a picture of something specific to turn off the alarm. Chex Mix. I've heard of Alarmy. I use this thing called Sleep as Android, which does the same thing. I've tried all the alarm clock apps, and it's the one that worked the best for me. I like it so much that it's like 4 years ago when I went to get a new phone, I could trade in my Galaxy S7 or whatever it was and get like $500 off my new phone. I kept it just because I was getting an iPhone and that app was only available for Android. And I still use it to this day. I used to have it where I had a QR code and I put it in the kitchen, which is on the first floor, and my bedroom's on the second floor. So when that alarm goes off, it would not shut up until I went down and scanned that QR code, and it would not quit. If you try to turn it down the volume, if you tried to close the alarm, it just reopened and keep doing it. If you turned off your phone, as soon as you turn it back on, it would start up again. The most annoying alarm clock type of thing in the world, yet the most effective. And it gave the option to put in like all kinds of sounds, uses wake up alarms, and so I used ocean waves, and which I highly suggest for anybody that needs to wake up uh, peacefully, because some loud jarring alarm is annoying. This one, it slowly starts out volume really low, and it takes like 5 minutes for it to get full volume, so you slowly wake up. But yeah, that thing, man, it was awesome. I still use it, like, and I've only overslept maybe twice um, in like 4 years using that. But it is impossible right now for Bully says. What makes it impossible? Is it just Bully? Is it racing brain, or just you're so busy that like work or whatever else that you can't get to bed early enough? Um, because if you can't sleep, have like I need to make a video about things that I use to help myself get to sleep at night. Um, and I've kind of like trained my brain to get to the point where when I lay down at night, my head's on the pillow, I can be asleep within 2 minutes, if that long. And it all involves, well, now it involves wireless earbuds in one ear. There's a thing called cozy phones. There's a headband that are real soft that have speakers in them. I used to put those on and put a video on, or put binaural beats. Have you ever heard those? Those can knock you out super fast. Um, they just work really, really well. But I know I keep harping about this stuff, but I am such a believer in it, and it changed my life. But full spectrum CBD oil stuff that I've been taking, that really helped me sleep at night because it calms my brain down. Um, just kind of shuts off all the chatter, and I'm able to go to sleep. And another thing that I've been doing started, I don't know how many months ago, but I got to take Vyvanse, which will keep you up. Yeah, they tell you not to take it before bed or anything because it's stimulant, it'll keep you awake. But I split my Vyvanse and I take it throughout the day in little certain proportions. But I started taking like a little bit of it, like a tenth of it or an eighth of it, whatever it is, um, like at 6:30 at night, which they say totally you shouldn't do because your brain or whatever. But I sleep so well now. Like I never get up at night. I used to get up like 2 or 3 times a night, like I have to go to the bathroom or whatever, but I don't do that anymore. And it started when I started doing the um taking the medication like 3 hours before bed. And I think what it is that Vyvanse helps me really focus on what I'm doing. And it's kind of like when I go to bed, my brain's like, Vyvanse kicks in and goes, all right, what are we doing? Sleeping? Let's do that. And I don't get up. And it's drastically cut down on me getting up at night. I don't do it anymore. It's fascinating. So I need to make a video about that some point. And actually, it's on my list for one of these upcoming weeks. It's takes the meds before the beds, takes the meds and backs beds, and takes the meds before the beds. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting to me, at least. I put a documentary in brown noise on Chex Mix. Says, yeah, brown noise. I listen to right now. I have a noise machine that has ocean waves, which I don't know if it really helps me fall asleep, but I know it helps a lot of people sleep. But that seems to work well. Um, But my thing is I just trained my brain to when I lay down and I have a single ear wireless earbud that I put in my ear now, but even when I had, like, the cozy phones or whatever I could put on, whenever I start listening to something that's bedtime, we're going to sleep, and it used to be binaural beats, to get my brain to calm down and go to sleep, and, then I moved on to, once I did CBD oil, I kind of didn't have to do that anymore. I just put on some random video, and I never hear the end of it. Like, it can be a 5-minute video, I put it on, and I never get to the end. I'm out before it finishes. Usually, I'm listening to, I found Across the Pond oh, wait, Lost in the Pond, the YouTube channel by, Lawrence Brown is, for some reason, his soothing voice, helps me sleep. To help me sleep, Isis Pryor says, "To help me sleep, I drink something hot. Usually helps, but not." Yeah, you know what? I've heard that before too. Somebody said, "Drink something hot, like, decaffeinated tea." People said, like, warm milk because it helps warm your body, so it helps you sleep better. I don't know, but I've just got my brain to the point where with the CBD and, the earbud thing, I'm out super fast. But yeah, the whole, taking medication, you know, way later than I should, it's super weird that, like, not only does it give you that, because usually in that time of day, like, in the evening, I start getting more tired, you don't really feel like doing much, uh, but taking that little bit of Vyvanse, I don't have that anymore, but once I go to sleep, I'm not getting up at night. I just find it fascinating. So I really do think it's my brain. Excuse me. I think it's my brain going, "We're focused on whatever we're doing. We're sleeping? Great. We're doing that. Full tilt, not getting up until the alarm goes off." There we go. So, I don't know. Like I said, I like finding weird things that help people with ADHD. I mean, there's so many tips out there for overcoming ADHD, dealing with ADHD issues. Hopefully, I'm giving ones that are different, or if they're not different, at least hopefully I'm presenting them in a different way. Yeah, Chex Mix. I think you're right about the Vyvanse and you're sleeping. Yeah. I forget why I did that. I saw a video or something, and the guy said, "I take my medication before bed, like, right before I go to sleep, and it helps me sleep." And I was like, "That's weird. It shouldn't do that, but I'm gonna try it because and I'll try anything just to see, 1, to see what happens, um, and then 2, to see maybe it might help me." Yeah, and it did. Now, if I took a whole bunch of Vyvanse before bed, I don't think it would be the same, but I've been splitting my Vyvanse in ways that work best for me for so long that I kinda know what's good and bad, um, or what works best at what times, so, I don't know. Checksmith says, "It doesn't keep me up either." Yeah, what's interesting is if during the day, it will keep me up, but when I go to bed, it'll make me sleep. It's like I said, it's like my brain's going, "Whatever we're doing, this is what we're doing, and we're doing it we're all in." So, I don't know. I told my psychiatrist about it, and he's like, "Hmm, yeah, it kinda makes sense. Maybe that's what happens." Um, Sorry that noise, that's Cowboy, he's directly above me in the kitchen walking around the hardwood floor because it's lunchtime, apparently. So Jack Mix, it's holding your message because it's got a bad word in it, I guess, but I'll show it. There it goes. "The things that keeps me awake is my bored ass brain." What? Let me stop thinking about you know what? Chex Mix, that's my brain every night, um, or it used to be my brain every single night, and then when I started having my these basically depression issues, which I was never diagnosed with depression, but it was to the point where, I went on Lexapro, which was just not good for me, and, I was still having these just weird depression for no reason, yet not full-blown depression. I have friends that have depression, and it wasn't like that, but still bad, and my chiropractor suggested the CBD oil, which I was fully against because when you see somebody selling stuff on Facebook and everybody seemed to be selling it, I'm very like, I'm not sure about that." but I trust my chiropractor more than anybody. So I tried it, and immediately that stuff was gone. It was when I lay down at night, it's the weirdest thing to be able to lay down at night and not have a bajillion thoughts going through your head. I mean, heck, even when I started taking it, I was taking half a dropper full in the day, and I had to stop because it calmed my brain down too much. And with being my job that I do with graphic design and writing videos in my shirt business, I have to have that bit of madness going on in my head in order to do stuff to where I want to do it. And so I cut down the CBD to just at night, just a certain amount. But yeah, it just completely got rid of that racing brain. It's amazing. I know a lot of other people have tried it too, and I need to make a video about it at some point because it's I've seen some people really have some life-changing experiences with it. There's a video out there, and I cannot remember the guy's name, but he had a video about his ADHD, and it just killed me because it was this guy could tell how bad he was suffering, and I don't know if he was diagnosed officially or he wasn't on medication. I forget what the thing was, and I just suggested to him. I said, "Hey, maybe try this." I did it, and he did it, and it ended up. He did a video about it, and he even mentioned me and said it was, life changing. He was able to function and wasn't so whacked out all the time, brain wise. So yeah, method to the madness. That's exactly what it is, bully. I have to have that. Um, it was really cool though for a while when I first started on it to, be able to sit and watch a TV show without thinking of anything else. Because that was foreign to me. I had no idea what that was like. Or go to a movie and I was like, I'm actually watching this movie and I don't care about anything else. Like, that was crazy. Um, then I just over the years adjusted the amount that I take every night or during the day, whatever, to be perfect. I still take my Vyvanse, but I take drops of the CBD at night in like the perfect little cocktail. Well, I think I need to get going because people are leaving and it's Sunday and it's probably it's nice out here by my house, but I'm not going anywhere. I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm doing today. I've got to edit a video for my friend. So if she's watching this, which I don't think she is, I haven't forgot about your video, even though it's not due for like a week, but I'm gonna be doing that today. And I got more video writing for me to do today because that sounds like fun. But thank you guys for showing up. Sorry this wasn't the greatest live stream. Like I said, it's been a past 2 days have been my brain's been just not good. Don't like when it grabs onto things and thinks like, what if this would have happened? And no matter what I do, gets rid of it. But everything's fine now. So you guys, I just said that. Guys, word drives me crazy when YouTubers do that. Sorry. But hopefully, I'm gonna do another one of these again soon. A little bit more put together, where my brain's not going as weird for some reason. And yeah, hopefully you guys are subscribed, and you don't have to, but if you like what I do, it is the best way to see when stuff happens. And the bell thing, I always tell people not to ring the bell thing, but you will be alerted if there's a live stream. Because I might not like this time I put it out there and said, hey, this is happening tomorrow or whatever. Sometime I might not do that. I don't know. Who knows? But if I go live, you get a little message. It's like, hey, this freak show is live. You want to see what this train wreck's doing right now? It's happening. But yeah. So I hope you guys have great time. Thank you, Isis. I am subscribed. Ha ha. I love it. Was it my sign? I like to think that this is what makes people want to subscribe. Especially when Bobby's got it at the end of the videos. He's all about the sign. He's a big fan of glittery things. But yeah, so hopefully, like I said this before, but hopefully there'll be a video a week from now on, especially, like, if you guys, there's a way you can message me or comment on other videos like, "Hey, when's that new video coming out?" You have no idea how effective that is for me. When somebody just says, "I thought you were gonna do a video a week. It's exciting, we're waiting." That makes me go. I I get going with that. Um, even though I know most that nobody really cares. But in my brain, I look at my subscribers and go that every day they're sitting at home going, "Where's this video? Like, he should have one now." And I'm letting all these people down. There's only like 700 of them, but still, that's how my brain is. Like, they're all waiting for you, even though I know they're not, and nobody cares. But that's what's going on in here. So, guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna start to do this every week. Oh, I totally forgot to do this. I thought I should have wrote it down. Um, I think what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start doing when I have a video that comes out, and they'll probably come out like on Sundays. Who knows? Is then a few days after that, I'm gonna do a live stream, and it's basically hopefully talk about whatever that video was about. So we did take some beds and back some beds. If I released that video today, a few days from now, it would have been about that. Like, let's talk about that, which I know probably won't happen, but that's just the idea. Now there's 9 people here. I'm getting ready to leave, and then more people show up. But I gotta go, and I will talk to everybody hopefully sometime soon. But until then, goodbye.